What is up, people of the internet? It is Pastor Alex back with another video on the Clobber passages. Clobber passages are verses in the Bible that have been notoriously used to harm the LGBTQ plus community, and I'm the senior pastor of Christ Redemption Church. We're going to tackle Genesis 19 today. It is about Sodom and Gomorrah. The verses that we're going to be looking at are going to be from Genesis chapter 19, verses 1 through 38. I am going to pull that up. All right, so the verses that we're looking at, again, Genesis chapter 19, verses 1 through 38, we're going to read from the New Revised Standard Updated Edition. That says, "The two angels came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gateway of Sodom. When Lot saw them, he rose to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. He said, 'Please, my lords, turn aside to your servant's house and spend the night and wash your feet. Then you can rise early and go on your way.' They said, 'No, we will spend the night in the square.' But he urged them strongly. So they turned aside to him and entered his house. And he made them a feast and baked unleavened bread, and they ate. But before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both young and old, all the people to the last man, surrounded the house. And they called to Lot, 'Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we may know them.' Lot went out of the door to the men, shut the door after him, and said, 'I beg you, my brothers, do not act so wickedly. Look, I have two daughters who have not known a man. Let me bring them out to you and do to them as you please. Only do nothing to these men, for they have come under the shelter of my roof.' But they replied, 'Stand back.' And they said, 'This fellow came here as an alien, and he would play the judge. Now we will deal worse with you than with them.' Then they pressed hard against the man Lot and came near to the door to break it down. But the men inside reached out their hands and brought Lot into the house with them and shut the door. And they struck with blindness the men who were at the door of the house, both small and great, so that they were unable to find the door. Then the men said to Lot, 'Have you anyone else here? Sons-in-laws, sons, daughters, for anyone you have in the city, bring them out of the place. For we are about to destroy this place because the outcry against its people have become great before the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it.' So Lot went out and said to his sons-in-law who were to marry his daughters, 'Get up out of this place, for the Lord is about to destroy it.' But he seemed to his sons-in-law to be jesting." I'm going to stop there, kind of continued on a little bit further past the main point of this Bible verse. Really, people like to make a comparison between Sodom and Gomorrah and Judges 19. When you take Sodom and Gomorrah and only have it as a single, against all LGBT, plus forms of relationships, as a conclusion, it's not made really anywhere in the biblical text. It doesn't have some sort of vice list where it says, don't do this, don't do that. It's really a story about a situation. And if you want to do it justice, you're going to look at Ezekiel 16 verses 49 through 50, and it actually tells you what that sin of Sodom really was. It says, "This was the guilt of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters had pride, excess of food, and prosperous ease, but did not aid the poor and needy. They were haughty and did abominable things before me. Therefore I removed them when I saw it." Really, theologians actually conclude that the sin here is inhospitality. The only sexual sin here, and I'm putting a trigger warning, the only sexual sin here was rape. That is what was going to happen to those angels. They were going to rape them. It had nothing to do with homosexuality. Homosexuality is not just rape. That is between two consenting adults. This here is a rape situation. And we could even unpack the situation where Lot was trying to appease them with bringing his daughters out because they were seen as lesser than men. We're not even going to unpack that right now. But the whole point is, it was not about homosexuality. It was about rape and inhospitality, gang rape, violence, Those were the abominable things that it's referring to in this situation. It wasn't saying you shall not do X, for X is an abomination, used throughout the Old Testament. It's not some sort of list that you can use to harm the LGBT community. This story is slowly becoming known in the evangelical or unaffirming world that, hey, this story is not a good story to use against this group of population. It is not about that. You'll see plenty of pastors actually coming out in the past saying and speaking out against using this particular story. In our next video, we're going to be talking about Leviticus 18 verses 22 and chapter 20 verse 13. Those are very connected together, and I hope this explained the Sodom and Gomorrah story in my stuttering, but I do hope that this helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at info@christredemptionchurch.com, and we would be happy to talk you through it. You can also go to christredemptionchurch.com for more information as well. See you next time.